Hi, Megan. How are the lineups trying to get into the shelter system for abuse?
So it's a really difficult situation. We are definitely seeing a spike. In Hamilton, they've reported a 30% increase in number of incidents being reported. York Region is 22%. So we are starting to see the spike now, which is consistent with what we see globally. We have been able to make arrangements with certain facilities in the City of London to take extra women in. So not necessarily a shelter, but a safe place for them to go. And we've developed a protocol with London Police Service. So when they are responding to a 911 call and the woman is being abused and indicates she wants to leave, they can take that woman immediately and place her in a safe facility. So we're not outlining publicly what those safe facilities are because we want to keep them safe. But we do have an opportunity now to really take advantage of the generosity of the community and make sure women have an option to leave.
Megan, tell us what's the dynamic? What has COVID exacerbated? What might a home situation look like before it flares up to a call to get out and get shelter?
I'm really glad you asked that question because what is happening is it's not more men being abusive, it's existing abusive men who are exercising that power and authority over the woman right now. And that is happening largely because it used to be the woman would go to work, for instance, and be away from the partner, the abusive partner, or the abusive partner would go to work and be away from that woman. And that gave, first of all, space, but also an opportunity for women to reach out for help. And so being isolated now in her home with women has reduced the ability for her to reach out for help. And it's also escalated the situation because you're in close quarters maybe, or you have children, or there's frustration, or there's financial issues. So all of those things don't cause the abuse, but they're factors we need to consider when we talk about the high risk women are in right now.
Okay, I think this number of people waiting, trying to get in, I had no idea there were over 500. Actually, I think the statistic is, well, the quoted statistic is 620 women and children a day are being turned away from shelters. Do you need people to offer space?
So it's a very difficult issue because we do need additional space for shelters, but on the other hand, we need the issue to end. We need communities to take proactive steps to end men's violence against women. And so during this epidemic, for instance, or the pandemic, what we're saying to communities is you have a responsibility to actually reach out to women who are being abused in their homes. You have an opportunity to reach out and let them know there is hope and there's help, and you are there to provide them with some support. We cannot continue to respond to the issue by building new structures all the time. What we need to do is address the demand for these shelters and make sure we have in place opportunities for men to end their violence against women and for communities to intervene.
So, how would we do that in these days of lockdown, of social isolation? How do we pick up the phone and call someone who we suspect is at risk? What do we do?
Well, I think the first thing is we have a campaign in London, Ontario. It's actually across the world now in various parts of the world, Shine the Light on Women Abuse. And it's where you illuminate purple lights to show women you stand with them and you're a safe place to come. It's generally run throughout the month of November. We're asking that communities continue to illuminate their lights now. We've got City Hall involved in all sorts of large corporations because we want women to know they're not alone. But secondary to that, we need for people to be the eyes and ears of the community. So if you're a neighbor and you hear shouting or things breaking, we're not asking for you to become detectives or investigators. We're asking you to think, wow, that does not sound good, and call 911 and allow the 911 police officers who respond to take care of the situation and do the investigation. And in addition to that, of course, we need the police officers to have a safe place to take these women. And that currently exists. It's a temporary response, and it's a very expensive response for us. of which were not funded, but it is a response that's needed in this time of isolation that can potentially save the life of that woman and her children. When you are isolated in a home like that, um, and there's no place to go, and the man is continuing to exercise controlling tactics over that woman, we're concerned that that woman will be killed. That's a major concern that we have right now. And we have seen an increase in time over the number of women killed by their partners. And we know that at this point, about every 6 days, a woman will be murdered by her partner, and we believe that will escalate.
All right. Sobering statistics. The United Nations is saying these are bearing out around the world, increases in domestic violence. Thank you for being on the front line in London and for reminding us that we all need to keep our ears and eyes open to encourage and care in this need.
Oh, thank you so much, Lorna, and you take good care of yourself.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye,
Bye-bye.
Megan.
Bye.
Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. What do you think about today's topic? Let us know in the comments.